gamers, and welcome to episode 438 of the Super Ultra Podcast Arcade for December 2nd, 2023. I'm one of your hosts, Daniel Nicholson, and with me is my co-host, Dominic Stallworth. What's going on, Dominic?
Man, so we've been off for a couple weeks, Thanksgiving, because there wasn't much news, so we said, like, hey, we wait another week to build some stuff up to talk about. I had all right Thanksgiving. Your Thanksgiving was pretty good, too?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah. All right. Oh, no, you won't go in detail. That's fine.
I was just going to say the kid threw up. I don't know what happened, if it was something that, like, did not sit well with her in the Thanksgiving. Is it because she ate too much? If they ate too much, that's good, then. She did not. It definitely wasn't ate too much. I mean, she's picky, but...
Oh, see, was it see, yeah, white people food. It
was the sweet potatoes, Dominic. She couldn't handle it.
Sweet potatoes.
She couldn't
sweet
handle
potatoes?
It. They had them, yeah. They were good.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
But you had what? What kind of pie you had?
No, actually, my mother made the pies, so apple pie and blueberry pie.
Oh, yeah. But because I just know y'all do pumpkin pie too.
Yeah, no, there was no pumpkin pie.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like, man, there ain't nothing like sweet potato pie, baby.
Sweet potato pie is very good. You made me those the other. Yeah. Was that just last year?
Nah, that was
that 2 years ago.
I think. Yeah, I think it was 2 years ago.
Those were very good.
COVID messed everything up, man. I just don't know time. I look at time as post-COVID now. That's all I know. I just say that was post-COVID.
And then I correct you when I say it's still happening.
But anyway, so this had a lot of things happen. I mean, especially in sports. I know my Washington team embarrassed themselves on Thanksgiving. But we did end up doing some firing. Maybe more than one, but I know the big one is the defensive coordinator.
Yeah, okay.
Some people want the head coach fired, but I don't. I actually want him to finish the season out because I don't want them to put Eric Bieniemy, our offensive coordinator. I don't want to put him up as head coach because I don't want him getting just a half a season or less than half a season because I don't know, because if they don't want him to be head coach, I never seen it where they put him back down to coordinators after that. It seems like they always let them go and they go somewhere else, and I want him to stay a coordinator. So I was like, I don't want him to move up. I know some people say they want to give him a chance. I say, yeah, I want to give him a chance for a full season though, if that's going to be the case. So I'm saying, like, yeah, let Ron finish the season, get rid of him, and then we try to just basically clean house of everything that was Snyder and like get things rolling. And hopefully we lose the rest of these games, man. We really could get a top 5 pick right now. So if we like lose the rest of these games, we definitely be top 5. So we got a chance to get one of those great quarterbacks. And I know that our quarterback is actually pretty decent, but it's the thing is that if we are up there for one of these other quarterbacks possibly to get that's going to be in the draft, we got to go for it. Like it's good that Sam Howell is pretty good. Like if we were like mid. If we were like kind of mid, like we were going to be like 7 and, well, it wouldn't be 7 and 9. It'd be either 7 and 10 or 8 and 9 or something like that. But like we would be like it would be good to have Sam Howell. But if we got a chance to get a better quarterback, man. I mean, like one of those top quarterbacks, we got to go for it. So. Yeah, the season's basically over, so it sucks because also in basketball, the Wizards, they just finally won the 3rd game, like 2 games ago.
Oh, wow.
They freaking just suck. So it's like I'm just waiting for baseball. I'm just like to watch anything of relevance, like as far as teams I follow, because even the Terps, not the football team, yeah, they're going to have a bowl game. So we're just waiting because it's chat week this week in college football. So wait for these championships to happen, and then they tell us who's playing in what bowl. I'm hoping. Let me fix my mic real quick. All right. You still hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So So I'm just waiting for their bowl game. But in the Terps basketball, they're not looking great. I don't know what to expect for them this year. Honestly, I just hope they sneak into the tournament. But it's not nothing like I don't see his team really doing anything big. Mm-hmm. It's like I don't know. Like I don't think they're really that great, but I'm just hoping something happens. But yeah, man, it sucks that I had to wait for baseball season to happen. Oh, baseball gave out the last few awards, which I thought they were fucking done. Apparently they still had the reliever award for best reliever in baseball. And our very own Batista won. Oh, so yeah, I was like, what? I don't know how to do awards anymore in the baseball, man. It's just so weird. You would think the last award would be MVP. I don't know why this. Did they forget? It's like, oh shit, we forgot to do all the awards. So I'm gonna submit something, but I don't know. Like they just sneak them out there. What else happened? But in football, Ravens still doing great. They're actually number one in the AFC right now as of this podcast. Because Kansas City lost to the Eagles. The Eagles, they pulled through. And they beat them. And then they beat another team also. They beat who they beat? The Buffalo Bills. Eagles has been on a roll, man. They beat some good teams. While Dallas has been on a roll, but they beat bad teams. So I'm tired of like, oh my God, doing that Thanksgiving broadcast was just so. Romo is so unbearable. He was great his first season doing broadcast. Now I just don't like him. And like he just kept saying like, this is why this team could win a Super Bowl. I'm like, Romo, what the fuck are you talking about? The Cowboys are what they were for the last few years. They beat the bad teams, which is supposed to do. Okay. Right. But the three losses they got. The loss to Eagles, San Francisco, Arizona. Two of those teams have better records than them. They are better than them. So, and the one team, they should have lost that. I mean, they lost to a team that they should have beaten. But, I mean, that's fine. It happens. But the two teams that are better record than them, they beat them. And, like, yes, and they haven't beat, I think, Seahawks was over 500, I want to say. I forgot their record. So, yeah. So, that was the only, Seahawks is the only team they have beaten that's over 500. And the Seahawks, they destroyed their defense. They're Seahawks is not as good a team as Dallas, but they destroyed their defense. Everybody's talking about how good Dallas defense is, but Seahawks, they had the lead. Dallas had to come back to win. And they lit them up. And I'm like, I don't believe in Dallas until they actually win in the playoffs. Like, I had them go to the playoffs. I'm like, so yeah, they get to the playoffs, but I just don't trust them in the playoffs because they never beat the good teams. And, like, yeah, like, they'll show up. Like, they were scoring a storm against all these teams, these subpar teams. Like, with us, we kept it close until the fourth quarter where we just imploded. And that pissed me off because I had us covering. I said, we could use cover. And I was happy for those 3 quarters. I was like, whoa. So, yes, just to stay within, because I think it was 11 or 14. I think it was 14. I said, oh shit, Washington, well, Commanders can cover this. I said, yeah. Dallas been winning these bad teams, but it's always something when they play against like us or like a division rival or something. Like we can keep the cover. We ain't probably gonna win, but we can cover. It looked like we were. And then that fourth quarter happened, and everything is what the hell? I was like, God fucking damn it. Yeah, I almost threw up my Thanksgiving dinner, Daniel. How awful our team looked, man. God damn. Now I'm just hoping that we lose every fucking game now because I know we're not going to get to the playoffs. I was rooting for us to get to the playoffs, like just to sneak in. So I was like, man, I just want to see us win. But nah, I just lose everything. What else happened? I mean, it's about NBA. Talk about my team sucks. Oh yeah, they're still having an in-game tournament, the in-season tournament. It's getting down to the wire end of that. Don't tell me who's still in it. Don't ask me that because I don't know. But it seems like some teams are playing pretty tough. You know, they want to get that $1 million bonus. I don't blame them. So what else? That's really it for sports. Really talk about. Like I said, it's champ week for college, so that's the big thing as of today. So I know Texas is beating up on Oklahoma State right now. they're hoping something will happen. They might can get into the playoffs, which I doubt. I think they need a lot of help. I think even if people lose, I don't know if they'll get in. They might, but whatever. All right. So what is this? CM Punk is in WWE again?
Yeah. So, it's been a roller coaster ride here, Dominic. Ever since he got fired from AEW for getting in a fight with Jungle Boy Jack Perry, son of 90210 star, Luke Perry. So there were rumors that he was going to be going to WWE. Then there was talk like, oh no, that's not happening. And sure enough, at Survivor Series last weekend, it was in Chicago. It was the perfect place that if they were going to bring him back, they bring him back. They also had Randy Orton returning on that pay-per-view. He was actually part of one of the War Games matches. He had been out as a result of an injury, basically, for, I think, around over a year now. There was even some talk that he might have to retire due to his back, but that did not end up being the case, and he is back now. But that, as far as like news-wise, has been completely overshadowed by the return of CM Punk. It seems like they're going to be setting up a match with Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, because after the show went on Survivor Series, the show was going off the air. The little stinger at the bottom right corner that's like copyright date and stuff that indicates it's the end of the pay-per-view, that came up. Triple H always liked to do this in NXT. Like, that would come up, so you think the show's over, nothing's going to happen, and then CM Punk's music played. He walked out. He waved to the crowd. That was about it. But that's a big moment because, CM Punk left WWE pretty unceremoniously, was fired on his wedding day from WWE all those years ago, almost 10 years ago. It was a little over 9. Of course, eventually came back to wrestling with AEW, and then, of course, got into a fight with the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, and of course trashed the company on mic at the press conference for that show, and then disappeared for a couple of months until that was resolved. And then once he eventually came back, got injured again, came back again, and then got in this fight with Jungle Boy at All In, which was their biggest show ever. Basically, their WrestleMania. They were at Wembley Stadium. He was in the first match of the card, and apparently before that match, he got in this fight with Jungle Boy that Tony Khan has now since said, he feared for his life, for his safety, basically. So it sounded like not only did CM Punk attack Jungle Boy or get in some kind of altercation with Jungle Boy, I'm not here to say who threw the first punch. That video was not out yet. Hopefully one day it will. But apparently also there was some kind of altercation between him and Tony Khan. So, yeah, so he got fired. WWE clearly willing to deal with the risk of that situation to pop the numbers, because of course it's CM Punk. He is a draw. He is going to make the company money. And, I'm sure they have provisions in place where if he steps out of line, they can let him go, break his contract, because the reality, at least from the back, Monday morning quarterback is CM Punk has not changed. He is still the thin-skinned guy that he has always been. So if something goes wrong in WWE, he's either going to take his ball and go home, or they're going to have to send him home. So it is what it is. But after Survivor Series went off the air, wasn't on TV anymore, there is fan video of like Seth Rollins being like, F you, and throwing up middle fingers and whatnot. So it's everybody, I say everybody, there were people on the internet going like, oh, it's real, he hates CM Punk, but like, no, it's an angle. It's wrestling. He was doing that for a very specific reason. My only thing is, like, this just means, like, is CM Punk's probably going to get the main event of WrestleMania that he has wanted. That is one of the things that he always griped about, is like he was champion for like so many hundreds of days, but wasn't, the main event of WrestleMania. It's still not the same though. He's not getting night 2. That's going to be Roman Reigns' spot, and it's not going to be him versus Roman. It's possibly going to be him versus The Rock. Who knows? There's also now talk that maybe CM Punk versus Stone Cold could happen, because when promoting the video game one year, there was like a sit down with him and with Stone Cold, CM Punk, and Jim Ross, and they got to, jawing back and forth. But that was when Stone Cold was like definitively retired. Of course, last year Stone Cold had a match with Kevin Owens. That's not really something I'm looking to run back. I think the novelty of like Stone Cold coming back was cool and the match was fine, but if they did a match with CM Punk, it would just be basically the same exact thing. You're not going to get some kind of technical match out of a however old year, Stone Cold at this point. So it's probably going to be another hardcore-esque match that goes around the arena. And I don't know, maybe if you got Stone Cold to show up and actually do some promos this time, that the build to it could be fun. But when he was fighting Kevin Owens, he didn't show up until like the very last week. So, yeah, actually, he didn't even show up then. He like sent a video of him on his ranch, just like, yeah, accept your challenge. So yeah, CM Punk, he's back. It's fine. I don't really care one way or the other. I was not watching when he was at his height in WWE, so he was never a guy that I was like, oh my God, he's back. It was more like the aura around him, and he put on a lot of good matches in AEW. I will give him that credit, but like, is it worth the drama? We'll see. WWE as a corporation is going to be much better, is going to be able to much better handle CM Punk as the person that he is than Tony Khan was. Tony Khan seems pretty weak-willed, and in the very early days, I mean, even leading up to that press or after that press conference where he just shit all over the company, he was still like seemingly firmly behind CM Punk in all of the ways. That press conference definitely could have been a thing that got a lot of people fired, but not CM Punk. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with him. I don't think he's going to be on TV every week wrestling like he was there for a stretch in AEW, especially since from his AEW run, we've seen that he's pretty injury prone. So it would not be in WWE's best interest to do that. Put a mic in his hand every couple of weeks and keep him on kind of a Brock Lesnar schedule. Wrestle when it's necessary. When you got a big show, you got the Royal Rumble coming up, of course. You got WrestleMania coming up, of course. And I'm sure, like the Saudi Arabia shows, like he'll get that paycheck, despite what he said about The Miz when they were first promoting those shows. So, it's a little rough. He's going to have to eat a little bit of crow and be a little bit of a hypocrite. I mean, even just by coming back to the WWE, he's already kind of done that. But it's going to be what it is. And as long as he's entertaining, I don't really give a crap, as long as he's not starting more drama, So, but it's
don't start drama in wrestling. We don't need that there.
Not real drama. Need people, friends behind the scenes. Dominic, I'm putting my life in your hands. So,
all right. So, Stone Cold Wrestling. Yeah, that's. I was like, I thought the man was injured and stuff, but okay.
Yeah,
I guess he's
good enough, I guess, to take some bumps.
Oh, but I was about to say, I was looking at some of these highlights of this, the Texas versus Oklahoma State football game,
mm-hmm.
and they have it on the field. I guess WWE is promoting it. If they have, or advertising. I saw on the field like WWE.
Oh, really?
Big 12 or something.
Interesting.
There. And I was like, what? I've never seen that.
I know I've seen clips of like wrestlers showing up on the college football like pre-shows and stuff like that, but I don't know what kind of relationship they have, if that's like
I ain't never seen no like WWE advertisement actually on the field.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that is like that is I was like, what the hell? I'm thinking like, hey, will there be a time where you got the WWE bowl game or something like that? And you get you get a wrestling belt. You get like a championship belt if you win. All right. So where am I where we at now? Yeah, what we were watching?
Yeah.
I didn't put anything down, but I did watch some stuff. I mean, it's just some old things, but I just want to say, like, I watched Rogue One again, but this time in 3D on the Oculus, and it looks like those movies were done really well in 3D. The Star Wars movies, because I watched Force Awakens 2 in 3D. I watched it with like the riff tracks, listening to them talk over the show. It was pretty fucking funny, and they were done really well in 3D, man. Those movies, I really liked them. I saw Guardians of the Galaxy in 3D. I don't think I ever seen that in 3D, and that was really good done, really done well in 3D. Like one of the worst movies done in 3D of the ones I've seen with Marvel is the Thor Dark World. That was compared to like Iron Man and then even the Captain America one. I was like, what? Didn't they do 3D well compared to those movies? I don't know. It's like why was that done in that way? Like I mean, I know, like, was it like his intention, like, I don't want to do 3D, but then he told him, like, you gotta put some 3D in it. So, oh, fuck it, we just
that's what I wondered.
Put something there.
Yeah, that was definitely the height of like, okay, we're gonna take these flat movies and turn them 3D, whether the creators like them or not, basically.
Yeah, and it looks like the creators for the other movies, they actually have actual scenes that it seems to be like pretty good and really done well, and it's not just like, it never felt like, oh, they just kind of stuck this in. It felt well done. Like Captain America, I didn't think it was. I was thinking like it's probably just like Thor Dark World, because it doesn't really need to be 3D, but they probably just have a little bit of stuff. But it actually had quite a few things in 3D, and that especially the scene where the battleships up in there and shit, that was great. So so because I look at people reviews on 3D, and they were even saying how some of the Marvel what Marvel movies were done really well in 3D and worth watching. What else? I also watched it's this anime show. I forgot what it's called. They call it Seku Basketball, something like that. I think Seku is one of the basketball players. It's an anime basketball show. A series. I think it's done now, but I was curious to watch it because I always seen it, and I was like, anime basketball, what the fuck is this? And like, but then I saw good reviews, like people actually liked it. I said, let me check it out. It's funny to me because it's just how they changed basketball into like anime form, and like people like how they're reacting, just like, in anime fights and stuff like that. Like people, you hear them thinking and stuff, and it's like basketball is split second, so I'm guessing they're just thinking all this stuff in like split seconds and shit. And like, and then you just see like, oh, first quarter's over. So that was all in the first quarter. That was like, good God, good God, they do a lot of talking in between like moves and stuff. It's like, oh, he say, oh, I got him now. He said, oh no, he said he passed the ball behind his back. He said, oh no, I didn't see that. And something like that. It's just, I don't like how seriously they take it, and like how they have the guys who are like the so-called, well, not really villains, but the so-called protagonists of the other teams, and they're like, oh no, this guy's really tall. Like this tall African dude said like he's like something meters, and I'm pissed off. I gotta go look it up and see like what the fuck is that. And then that thing I saw was like 6'3", and I was like, what the fuck, man? That's not that tall, but that's like, oh, I guess compared to them, I guess it is. Because I'm like, that's a point guard over here. But I think he's supposed to be like almost. I don't think he was 6'. I think he was. I don't know if he was even 6. Was he 6'6"? And that's like that's a shooting guard too. Technically over here, I mean, you can get a small forward or something like that, but he has long arms. Say, oh, this is like, but his arms are long. Like the girl who was their coach, she was telling him like, his arms are, but it's not only that, he has long arms that you have to really shoot over him. Like this nigga, like how Dragon Ball Z show their villains to see how strong they are, like they do. That's how they do the basketball players. I was like, that's just funny. And it's like I kind of want an anime version of like American basketball though, like not just a bunch of Japanese guys. I kind of want something like that just to see, because it's just funny how they describe the stuff like what they can do. Like one guy is like the guy who's like the main, somewhat like the main character. Like he can't shoot or nothing, so it's like he just seems like he's nothing extraordinary about him, but he can pass, and like he can pass anywhere. That's his skill. That he can pass him, and he gets you to a point where you can make a shot and you can be open or something like that. But then they got a guy who has eagle eye, Daniel, and he can see it. You can see this guy, but he can see it. He can see where he's going to pass. And it's like, oh no, how you get past him? And then there's like one guy who's just unstoppable, and like he's bored. He just does what he want to do. He don't like practicing and stuff like that. Almost like Iverson, like practice. But he because he's so good, he's bored. He's like, I can't find anybody who's ever better than me and something like that. But it's pretty good. I like it. I like it. It's pretty funny. Sounds just like how they look at this, like how seriously they take it and everything. Which is, I mean, in an anime way, because like people take it seriously. I mean, of course it's sports, but it's just that the way they take it to like a form like it's a battle. Because even people say, "Oh man, this is like a fight." So this is not even basketball or something like that. It's like, what the fuck? And then like they have a guy where he fouled him, and so like, oh, he fouled him, and then they show like how he just tossed the ball behind his back and made the bucket. So, oh my god, he said he still made it. He said, so he's just unstoppable. And something like that. It's just amazing. I think, what's there anything else I watched? I feel like I watched something else too. Recently. I can't think. But you can go ahead and talk about Blue Beetle, man. How was that movie?
I thought it was all right. I think if you're a fan of Shazam and that kind of blend of humor and kind of lightheartedness mixed with a superhero movie in the DC universe, I think this movie stands up there with that pretty well.
Oh, good.
That's good. It's 2 hours. I think it feels pretty brisk. It has a good pacing to it. It doesn't really have any real slow points. It just kind of goes. And overall, I enjoyed it. I will say, I came out of it with a pretty positive view of it. I wonder if they actually move forward with anything related to this Blue Beetle, because unfortunately, they're coming out right at that time where they've basically already said, like, oh, we're moving on to this new set of James Gunn, WB DC stuff. So I wonder if he gets grandfathered in any way, or if they're just going to kind of cut ties and move along. The suit itself,
they got to complain. They got to complain like John Cena did about getting that Roadrunner Coyote movie.
What was that?
Huh? What happened? I'm breaking up?
Oh, still breaking up on me. Might be me. Man. Might be. Say something.
Hello. Can you hear me? My thing is still my mic is still working. Testing.
You still there?
Yeah, my mic is still working.
Yeah, you're like barely getting any words out at all.
Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna hang up then.
Stupid Skype. Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay. Now I can hear you.
I mean, I could hear you, and my mic was still working.
Yeah.
I was looking at my Audacity, and everything was coming through.
All right. It must have been on my side. I've had that happen, like, whenever, I don't know if it's Skype or my internet or what, but it'll, like, break up a bit, and then it'll start doing that, like, woo, woo.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, I was saying that they need to complain like John Cena with the Roadrunner Coyote movie. What is that? Is that supposed to be? Is that going to be computer animated or just with real people? What is that movie supposed to be?
I think it's a computer animated Foley thing, and John Cena's just doing a voice.
Oh, good. Just a voice. Oh, good. Because I swear to God, they were doing some type of like Space Jam shit, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Sonic style thing or something. No, I think it's fully. But honestly, it wasn't until that movie was canceled or whatever that I had even heard of its existence. So
yeah, me neither. I ain't never heard of it.
Maybe Warner Brothers was making the right move there.
They was like, well, we did Space Jam, man, and I think we're good. And he said no. Now, are they going to make it so that he talks like in... Wait a minute. I didn't see the latest Tom and Jerry movie.
Me neither. I don't know what they're doing in that.
I didn't... Yes, yeah. So I didn't know... Yes, I didn't see it, but...
You saw trailers and stuff.
Yeah. And Tom wasn't talking, right? Nah. I don't think... I know he was talking in the old 90s movie, and because him and Jerry were talking, and I thought it was horrible as a kid. And I was like, they're not supposed to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, but whatever. I'm getting Tom and Jerry mixed up with Bullwinkle, because I keep thinking about the girl who was in Bullwinkle. The Bullwinkle movie that came out. But anyway, yeah, so I'm so Blue Beetle, yeah, I gotta check that out. I gotta check Blue Beetle out.
Yeah, I think you would probably enjoy it because you like Shazam a lot, right?
Yeah, and also, I mean, I'm kind of going in order because I did watch Man of Steel again some months ago, and I gotta watch Batman v Superman, and remember why it was bad. I forgot why I didn't like it. But it's like I remember why I didn't like it. But yeah, so I'll watch it when I get there. When I get to that point, there's been some DC anime movies that have been coming out too that I have not seen. That I have to catch up on also. All right, so I guess we get to video games. What we been playing? So you want me to go or you go? It don't matter.
I can go just because my list is a little bit shorter. I don't have a whole lot to say. I did finish off Cocoon, although I did just see something about a secret ending, so I don't know if I maybe need to go back to that because I 100%ed it as far as like achievements go because there's just like a couple collectible style things along the way. And maybe after getting them, if you finish the game, it does something different. But that's the puzzle game from the game designer behind Inside and Limbo. Much better than that other one from the kind of other studio that spawned off of Play
You didn't finish that game, did you?
I think I did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did, but I kind of was just forcing my way through it at one point. And I didn't go back and like look for anything extra if there was even anything. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I finished it. But yeah, this was a game that I think like the quoted hour of play on the Xbox app is like 5 hours, even for like 100%. And every time I played it, because I've been playing like such small chunks over such what feels like a long period now. It's been like 2 months, I think, that game's been out. I keep thinking that I was like right at the end, and I never was until I finally was. I think that game is really, really well done. It's really clever. I think all the puzzles were just like the perfect amount of like not obvious, but as soon as you get it, it just like clicks in your head and you're like, oh, of course. Except there was one puzzle that I got stuck at that I think part of it was I was overthinking it, and the other part was like it didn't have quite obvious enough clues to help me get to the place I needed to be. Because when I eventually had to look it up, and even then after I did that, like the first couple of times I tried to do it after that, I still messed it up somehow. But after turning it off that night and then coming back a couple of days later, I was able to figure it out. But in that, I found a Steam support page about it, and the developer was saying like, oh yeah, in our next patch we're adding we did add visual cues to help make it a little more obvious. And I'd be interested to see what it looked like before that patch and what it looks like after that patch, because even with that knowledge in mind and looking at it again, I didn't notice anything that would have been like, oh, that made it a little more obvious for me. I also had a bug that I didn't have any sound, so I ended up having to uninstall the game and reinstall the game. But I saw a lot of I saw a lot of people saying that when they uninstalled the game and reinstalled the game, that their cloud save had not actually saved properly. So I had to like dig down into the file folders so I could find my save game and copy it just in case. But I luckily didn't. It just came right over. I didn't have to copy that back in. So that wasn't a big problem for me. But it was kind of weird that just like all of a sudden I turned it on and I'm like, okay, my sound in Windows is on. Like, did I turn this down at some point? And I had turned it down a little bit at some point, but then I cranked it full blast and it's like still not going on. And then I searched for it, and a lot of people were saying they had that problem after one of the patches. So that was kind of unfortunate. But I think overall that's a fantastic game. Excellent experience on Game Pass, of course, makes it a great deal. And, 5 hours is perfect for me nowadays. It's easy to get through for the most part. Alan Wake 2, I played quite a bit more of that. I'm now actually into the portion where I can play as Alan Wake. I'm still kind of on the fence about it, honestly, and I don't know if it's just
because you had to play as a black guy.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah. Now that I'm full Alan Wake, I'm into it. No, it's just I think I'm maybe came into it with too high expectations with all the talk around it, or I don't totally know. I'm finally getting to a point where her stuff, the saga stuff at the beginning, I think the conceptual stuff where you're like going into this mind place and you're putting stuff on the board, I think that stuff is really interesting. And I think it's actually more interesting than part of what they do with Alan Wake, because they do a similar thing with him. But then aspects of his gameplay, I think, are more interesting than hers. So I'd be interested to see how it kind of ends up blending together across the ability to kind of switch back and forth between the characters. What Alan Wake can do is there are certain areas of a level, and because he's basically the writer of this story, you take these clues that you've gathered and then you can basically change the scenario. You can be like, okay, I'm down in the subway station and they were doing satanic rituals. So you say like, oh, satanic rituals. And then there's like an altar there and more clues appear from, this cult doing their thing there. Or you can say that there was a murder there, unrelated to a cult. And, then it kind of transforms a little bit into this slightly different scenario and opens up more clues. I think part of that is interesting. Part of that complicates it in a way where it maybe gets a little confusing as to where you're supposed to go, and you can get turned around a little bit because all of these levels are kind of these open world areas. Like, they're not huge open world things, but you can kind of go in whatever direction you want. And I think their use of like lights and stuff to maybe guide you in the right direction is sometimes flawed. And I think that was part of my problem with Saga's bit at the beginning is you're basically in these woods and it's kind of hard to get a bearing of like, okay, without jumping into the map and out of the map, there's no like mini map situation. So I found myself like having to toggle back and forth between the map and the gameplay a lot to make sure that I was on the right path instead of having maybe a little better telegraphing of like, okay, this is the direction of that thing. This is the direction of that thing. So that's kind of what I've been struggling with as far as that stuff goes. Based on everything that I'm hearing on the internet, there's some bits that are coming up that are really good, like standout things. But I don't know if that's going to make this game shoot up my list in the same way that it sounds like it has for some people on the internet. So we'll see. But I'm having an all right time with it, but I'm not blown away by it. So what have you been playing, Dominic?
All right. So I finished Sea of Stars. Cool. Finished that game. And that game, it was pretty good, man. I really enjoyed it. It was a nice little story. Mm-hmm. And there are 2 endings. So I only finished one of the endings. And they do create a save point right before you fight the final boss. Nice. So you can do the true ending, which I didn't do. I probably just watch it on YouTube because it's even though I did almost all the side quests that you have to do to get it done, there's something you have to do, and I just kind of want to just move on. So I'll probably just watch what it is that you do to get the true ending. But yeah, I really enjoyed that game. Even the only bad thing I would say is that the actual main characters aren't really fleshed out. It seems like it's more of the side characters are more fleshed out than the main ones. They're kind of just there to be that they are the Solstice Warriors, that they have to be the ones to defeat the flesh, what do they call them? The flesh dancers? I forgot what they call them. Flesh masters, whatever. Those beings, they're the only ones that can beat them, but it's not really a fleshed out story of those individual characters. But overall, the game it's fun. It's a nice RPG to play. It's not that long, so it doesn't take forever to beat. And yeah, it's a nice like old school feel to it, a simplistic feel to it. In that, it's one of those new games that I really enjoyed. That hey, I would never had probably tried it. It wasn't on Game Pass. So what else have I played? I also played. Oh yeah, Rollerdrome finally came to Xbox and is on Game Pass.
Nice.
It's been out since 2022. Last year, I think on PS4 or 5, and on PC. But yeah, it never. At least I think it was on PC. I mean, on PC, but it hasn't been on Xbox. So they finally got it this week, and I played it, and it's all right. It's pretty fun. And like it's kind of like with like Tony Hawk and everything. You do tricks and stuff like that. Ollies and stuff, but you're just roller skates, kind of like roller derby kind of thing, but it's kind of roller derby to the max because you're actually killing people and shooting them and things of that nature, and they're trying to kill you, and the only way you can get ammo is by doing tricks to reload your gun, and you get different type of guns. Most of the time, you start out with just 2 pistols, and then I end up getting a shotgun later on, and like you just have to complete like the missions, which is like kill all the enemies that are on the level, and then they have you challenges there where you complete a challenge, you get bigger score. So you try to get a high score. I guess I don't know what's the highest to go up to. All I got was D's because I was never really good at it because I was still just really learning. But I don't know if it goes to A or S, So, but anyway, I also I took a break like a while from it. So when I went back into it to play it, I forgot that if you zoom in, like if you zoom in, you kind of slow time down to easy shoot. Because I was just shooting, just from the hip. When the target comes to shoot them, when you're close enough, you get a target and you can get actually aim. It automatically aims at them, but when you do actually hold the left trigger, you can zoom in and kind of slows it down, which is better for certain enemies that have these shields, which I would take forever. Like, my timing was just awful, because it'd be like, hey, the par time is like 4 minutes, and I was like at like 15 or something like that, and I was like, holy shit, I was like, how the fuck you supposed to do this at 15 minutes? So those enemies take too long to shoot, but then I realized, I think I was playing another stage, I was like, oh shit, I forgot that you can slow down time, and then if you slow down time, you easily can get a shot on them, because the shield won't come up as fast. You would have got some shots off on them. So I was like, oh, okay, so now I know what I was doing wrong, because I finished out the stages a whole lot faster, and yeah, it can get, I felt like it grabbed me to a point where I was like, okay, I'm feeling this now. Like, I'm really getting into this game. And yeah, it's pretty fun, man. I just wonder why it took so long to come to Xbox. Like, what the fuck was the holdup? Was this actually like a deal signed by Sony, or this was just them? Like, I just wonder why. Like, it took over a year.
I think it was like August 2022. That Microsoft Game Pass bag. That's why, Dominic.
Maybe that's what it was. Oh my god, this commercial is weird. I'm seeing this lizard face on these Mountain Dew commercials. All these animals all these humans are turning to animals. Like, you got a bird, a lizard, and what the fuck is this other one? I don't know what it is. Your soul needs a dew. Oh my god. I gotta get a Mountain Dew, Daniel.
Soul needs it, though.
Oh wow, I am seeing a what commercial is this game for? It looks familiar. It's a phone game. Oh, they're promoting the Galaxy Fold. What's the game? What's a famous phone game? What's the one with the meme? The meme is always uses it probably is, where the guy says Dick Rada. It always, what is that from?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, because they always use this meme of that guy, and like when somebody is already like seem like they always kind of suck up somebody puts up that meme of him saying that. But it probably is Clash of Clans. Maybe it's Clash of Clans. Is that the guy with the mohawk? Is he on that one? The black guy?
I don't know.
He looks like Mr. T. Like a he looked like Zangief and Mr. T put together.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh, anyway, what I got out here? Oh yeah, I finished off Gears 1, the definitive edition. I was playing through that. Yeah, just having fun shooting with that, and then I started playing some Gears 2 also. And Gears 2 is not on PC, of course, so I just played through the cloud. And this is the first time I played Gears with the Xbox, enhanced. I guess not the Series X, but the One X, I guess, enhanced. I didn't even play with that. Because I don't know if it's even more enhanced with the Series X. I'm not sure, honestly. I don't know how much more. Because when I look on the description, it just says it still has One X enhanced. But it does look better. Like, it looks crispier. It runs faster, and I don't know if it's actually 60 frames, but it's definitely more frames than it was originally. Because I was seeing a difference, man. I was like, wow, this definitely looks pretty good. I said, playing this, and so just like the look of it just looks like really cool to see it look this good. I just played through up to the point where you get close to that village. We're getting close to the village where I know those tickers are or whatever in the beginning. So yeah, I was playing that. Oh, Halo Wars. I played that briefly. I mean, I beat the whole game, but it didn't take long because with those cheats. Because I was just playing because I was like, I'm gonna go through the story of Halo. And I actually started that a few years ago. I think I stopped at 2, and I said I was going to go back to Halo Wars to see that story because I was kind of around the same time of those games. It was like in between. I think it's in between Reach. Takes place in between Reach and Halo 1, Halo Wars. But they go to another part of the galaxy. They're in another part of the galaxy though, so they don't kind of see the events that are unfolding with what's going on with Master Chief and them. But playing through that game, like I was minding just how close it was to StarCraft, and like I never played that game in the skirmishes, which now that I think about it, I kind of wish I didn't uninstall it because I do want to try the skirmish because I never played as a Covenant. Because I mean that wasn't in the story. I wish they would have made a story like they did in StarCraft where you played as all the factions. I kind of wish they would have did that. And maybe they would have. Maybe there would have been like a big DLC where you do like a Covenant mission if Microsoft didn't, got rid of the Asama Studios. They don't exist anymore. But yeah. So I did want to try that, but like playing the game, I was like wondering like how good it is and like how similar it was to StarCraft and how well done it was, man. Like originally Halo was going to be that type of game until they changed the first person shooter, and they did a really good job with that game. I wouldn't say it's underrated because I mean it's a strategy game, but I think it's done really well. Like I wish they would do another game sort of in that vein, like take a chance with that, like just bring that up or I mean they did Halo 2, the Halo Wars 2. I mean I was surprised they actually did that. I wouldn't even risk that with it because its thing is the console market for those type of games is not really there's really a PC market, but then will they gravitate to it? I don't know. Hello, what do I care about the money? They got money, so fuck it. Like you just spend it. I don't care how much you make from it. But anyway, what else? Oh, Remnant and Remnant 2 are on Xbox Game Pass. They just came on Game Pass, so I'm gonna try this game because I know people can talk about like compared to like a Dark Souls game, but what I've seen is that something that is maybe has some elements of Dark Souls, but has elements of other games too. Like and also it looks like the story is definitely in my opinion better than a Dark Souls game. And from playing it, I can say this from the 30 minutes of playing this game, I already like the story 10 times better than any other Dark Souls game I ever played in my life because it actually has people. Are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought I heard something. Because it actually has like real dialogue where you talk to people and things. It's not just like a riddle. It's not like some type of. I mean, it's a apocalyptic place, but it's not. Like I don't even know where the fucking setting is of Dark Souls. Like I guess you're in some type of other world. I don't know if this is. Are you in some type of like in between hell and heaven? I don't know what the fuck that shit is. And like nobody really, and people just talk to you. Nobody's really straight with you or anything. When you talk to like the NPCs in that game, it's like I never get it. It's like to me, it felt like the story. Well, the story is not important. Because when people tell you got to read the text and all that stuff, I say, oh, it's not important then. It's like if I got to go find books and shit to read, it ain't that important. They ain't, because I put it like this, I heard nobody ever talking about it. I heard nobody ever talk about the story in Elder Ring or Dark Souls when they talk about that game. Well, in this game, at least it's something I can follow with that, because that's what I'm big with. I'm big on narrative. Gameplay wise, it's a shooter and it has some. I mean, you do have a melee sword, and I do have it where you stamina and all that stuff with it too. Also, that where like if you use your melee weapon, you get tired, or if you run, you get tired. You gotta. It's not really. It doesn't really hurt me. Also, it does have difficulty. Like there's normal, and then you can play harder or whatever, and it's co-op. I haven't played with anybody yet. I'm trying to get my fill of the game, and I did. Eventually, I did use cheats. Eventually, just to try that out a bit to see how that is, and yeah, I mean the cheats work, so yeah, I was just invincible. But playing the game without cheats, it's I I don't know if it's too hard, and maybe it gets harder. I don't know. I don't know how the difficulty is. It doesn't feel like a Dark Souls difficulty, but like overly hard or overly complicated. Like the controls don't feel that way. They don't. They definitely do not feel like how Dark Souls does it. So it seems like just kind of the maybe like the menu system and things of that nature, and like I said, the stamina bar, and maybe how you when you die you kind of respawn to the point, and also if when you save at a point or like rest, enemies come back to life. That's the Dark Souls stuff that happens. But nah, like other than that, man, it just seems like a third person shooter, and I kind of want to play it. Like I want to see how it plays in co-op. Like I don't hate this game. Like put it like that. Like it's so far I'm okay with playing it. like I'm okay playing it. So I mean I gotta play some more to really judge what it is. But I know the story starts off with I don't know what happened. I still don't know exactly what happened. I mean my character seems to know, and he's trying to fix it. But I guess as I go along, I'll learn more of why these beings are coming up and just killing people, and people got to stay in these places. That it kind of reminds me of Fallout with the vaults. They stay in these places where they feel protected. But now those beings have kind of come in. So I open up this crystal where those are like the save points. Like, and how you can fast travel. And the thing is, they were never open before is because those beings can probably easily get through places by using that crystal. But since they already found a way to get through, it's like now, hey, we got to use them. And it's easier for me to use them so I can travel back and forth out into the world and try to help stop this stuff, I guess. So, yeah, I'm just only playing about like 30 or so minutes. I wouldn't say I met a boss, but I met this like this dude. I was in like these tunnels where he kind of just warps a bit. I mean, it was like two of them that they can kind of warp out and disappear, and then they throw some shit at me that makes me sick. But yeah, the game it's all right. It's an alright game. I mean, it is brownish, kind of that look of like a Dark Souls type of game, but it's more Fallout-ish kind of setting to me. It has more, yeah. It kind of has like a more of a Fallout setting in that aspect. So I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm giving it a chance. So far that is. And if you ever played like Zombie Army. Mm-hmm. It kind of reminds me of that too. Like as far as the shooting. What else have I played? Killing Instinct had its 10th anniversary. So I was trying to see like, maybe some new things I can see this game. Maybe they have everything unlocked. No, they don't have that. I was kind of hoping that's what it was, Daniel. Like I saw all the patch notes about like the specific characters they done, which that for a fighting fan that does nothing. That means nothing to me, Daniel. That means absolutely nothing because I don't play online, so it don't fucking matter. Yeah. So like that balancing issue. I mean, that's cool that they did it, but I was hoping that because I saw something like all premium things are available, but I'm like, what? But I was like available, but I was like, I don't. What were the premium? I didn't know what the premium things were because it seems like everything I want, I still have to level up to get, and have enough coins or buy coins where I can buy it with your currency or whatever. I was just hoping it was like what Marvel did with the Avengers and I could just get everything. That's what I was hoping for, like that they would do this. I was like, because you're not gonna support this game again, right? Like this is it. Like you're just gonna move on to something else. Like I'm thinking, like, come on, this game is like 10 years old now. It's not like it's really the biggest fighter or anything. So can you just give me the shit? Can you just give me everything to unlock? Or at least they add the mode where you can play single player like towers, like in Mortal Kombat or any other normal fighting game, where they have a story mode, but story mode doesn't let you play with all the characters. It lets you play with the characters that are actually have a story.
Right.
So I have to do either single fights or endless fighter before I can play with the other characters that are part of that, or the characters they added in later. You know, like Grom, or Ram. I said Grom, Ram, Ram, and the frog. What's his name? What's the frog name?
Rash, I think it.
I think it's Rash. I think it was Rash. Yeah. Rash and one of the elites or whatever. From Halo. So, I was hoping they'd just add something simple like that, but nah, they didn't do that. I mean, they did some work. I give them that. It's just that it's nothing that for me is not of interest. But it did get me to play the game again that I haven't played in a while, and I did like it. I did like Killer Instinct. I haven't gotten to the flow like I did when I first played it though, where I was easily doing like the combos. Now I'm still trying to figure out how to do them, like to get that flow going. But yeah, I mean that's nice. That's nice of them to do that. It's nice of them to do that. Yeah, well, I wanted more. Like something more cosmetic and something like that. And basically, did I play anything else? Okay, see, Star Gears, World of Wars, Sync. Nah, I think that's it. I think. Oh yeah, Baldur's Gate. I didn't really play much more of that really though. Because I'm kind of at a point where I'm going to take a break. I'm finally at Baldur's Gate, but I think I'm going to take a break and like play some other games. Mm-hmm. It's a lot there, but that's a great game. Yeah, so yeah, that's it for what I've been playing. So I guess we'll take a quick break, and when we get back, we get to the gaming news. I mean, not gaming news. I'm sorry, flashback segment.
All right,
and we're back. And now we're doing a flashback segment the last weeks of November and just a couple of days in December. We got some games. All right, so what we got here was worth mentioning. We got, oh yes, this is the week of the, well, actually it was last week, but the Xbox One was released 10 years ago.
Yep.
The console, like after the PS4, and yeah, this was a big controversy. I mean, they took a lot of stuff out that they said they were going to have in there because people did not like the always online, you know, and what else they had up there? Like, oh yeah, checking to see if you have like what disc, like the disc or something, like if it's legal copy or something. I don't know.
Wasn't it like they were? I mean, that was part of the always online stuff. I think basically it was like, oh yeah, we'll let you like you can play your disc games elsewhere, but like your disc has to be in the system, like something like that. I think and it was almost like, oh, that would be kind of useful, but like, oh, nobody liked the always online because
yeah. Even though we're all technically always online now.
We're there now. Yeah. They were ahead of their time, Dominic.
Exactly. You're not supposed to say it. You're not supposed to say it. You're supposed to just let it kind of just come. Flow. Like it kind of happens. Till people, they don't even realize. And then they realize, oh my God. What's going on? But it's too late. You're already in. But yeah, so there was a lot of people. I remember I just listened to podcasts up to between that announcement from E3 to now how they were leaving. They were not getting an Xbox. They were getting a PS4. They said Xbox is just anti-consumer. Like I remember listening to these podcasts, these guys. This all they talk about like it's like I don't believe in them. I say I don't care what they do or anything. And I was like, whoa, so you're a PlayStation podcast now. So I guess I'll have to. So I was like, I already have those. I already have people who were just. I was like, I don't need another one, man. But yeah, it was just like a lot of things was just against the Xbox, man. And I mean, rightfully so. I mean, based on like people want, yeah, they didn't like that. So I get it, but it kind of sucked because I was like, on PlayStation side, I wasn't seeing any games while Xbox, they were showing initially. Xbox One was showing games. At least you saw that were like the exclusive games, and they were kind of in my interest.
Yeah,
but PlayStation really had nothing. Then to think is with Xbox One though, that was it. Like once they showed those games off, like Titanfall and them like that, and then when they came out, it was quiet for a while. And while PlayStation, they were quiet initially, but then they started getting the games coming in. It's like it quickly switched, and plus their user base, even without those games, they were bigger because of it being $100 cheaper.
Yep, and
also not have all that negative press. Yeah. While Xbox, you had the whatchamacallit, Connect, which that was another thing. People were saying like, why isn't there a Connectless one? Mm-hmm. Why do I have to buy the Connect? And a lot of people did not like that Connect. They didn't like the idea. And while I was arguing that Xbox, I said they should have took the loss. They should have went $400 and you got a Connect. Mm-hmm. That would have been your thing. It was like, hey, you got a free Connect. It's like it comes with it. You don't have to use it. You don't have to have it always connected. Some people see. I think that was the thing too. I think you had to have it always connected, even if you weren't using it. I think that was a thing they said initially, and that they took out. I think they said you could take it out now, or either they said that or people thought that it was one or the other. But yeah, people kept thinking like you had to have the Connect on, and that it was watching you. It was watching you while it was off. So people was like, they don't like that. You're invading my privacy. Even though now, everybody has cameras in their fucking house. Like, even inside not just outside the house, inside their house. I don't like that, honestly. Because I don't want to go to people's houses knowing that they're recording my ass.
Yeah.
Like, I hate that. I never liked that idea. I was like, I get why people doing it. I was like, but keep it in your children's room. Or something. If like the baby's room, like you want to make sure like the baby's doing something, do that.
That's a little better, Darwin. Keep it in the baby's room.
Oh, children's room. I mean, well, that's your fucking children. I don't give a fuck. I mean, that's all on you. That's on you. That's your family. Fuck. Well, y'all do what the hell y'all want to do, and yeah, whatever. I don't care. I'm selfish that way. But it's like I don't. As long as it's not me, I don't care. I was like, well, it's sad that I just feel bad for those children. Anyway, yeah. So it's funny how we are there now with all that shit. But for me, like I was kind of into Kinect a little bit because I had it for the Xbox 360, so I was like, yeah, that's cool. That they have the Kinect and it's going to be better now because it's like the voice activation was supposed to be better and shit like that, and it was. And initially, when I did finally get the Xbox, I did like say what channels to go to. It will listen to me. Now all that shit is just gone. It had like the TV stuff. It used to have the picture-in-picture. It had all that stuff, and now it was gone because they had the interface faster. And I get it, because I'm guessing it would have been even slower than what the fuck it is now. Because it's just damn sure bad. Well, and that's only because as things grow, you need to update, have no space, and I guess the Xbox just wasn't ready for that. Which, yeah, I just think those consoles need to be made in a way where now we know we do updates like this all the time, that things won't go slower. These interfaces won't go slower. Like with Nintendo, hopefully the next Switch, that shit won't. The actual marketplace will be a whole lot better. With that,
I don't know. This is Nintendo that we're talking about. We can hope, but I have my feelings that it's not going to be, because, I mean, one of the things that it's going to take for that marketplace to get better is moderation. I mean, it's not just the interface itself, So like, I don't need to see all the shit dollar games that are just like scams or whatever. So they have a lot of work they need to do in that marketplace, and we see Steam have trouble with that, so I have my doubts that Nintendo is going to get any better at it.
Yeah. So Xbox, out of the gate. Now I didn't get it initially. I know you did. You got the PS4 and the Xbox One. I was waiting to see. I was like, I'll wait till like they get some more games on her, because it was still enough for me that I want, but I was still more leaning to Xbox. And yeah, because that first year, it was just more games on Xbox that I still wanted. Yeah. And I still could play. I still could play my old Xbox 360 game. Well, some of them. I could play some of them. Like they didn't do. They didn't have the whole. They didn't put the whole like backwards compatible thing until a little bit later.
Yeah.
But only some games were backwards compatible to be played. So yeah. So let's go through this. So we got Dead Rising 3. That was one of the big launch games. It looked really good, and since I heard like, hey, it's not like a huge timer like Dead Rising 1 and 2 were, where you had to hurry up because that's what pissed me off. So I was like, oh, that's cool, and it looked pretty good. I mean, it got rated around like the 7s or so, or whatever. Overall, or maybe 8. Let me see. What's the Metacritic is? Yes, 78, close to 80. So yeah. I mean, it got alright scores. It was a reviewed okay. Everything, it's just a sandbag zombie game. I mean, if you liked it, you like that stuff. Even though I don't know why people like the timer, they said, "Oh, that's just part of the game." It's like whatever, man. I just ruined it. That ruined it because for me and my friend, we played a lot of that game and we lost because the timer ran out. We had to start from the beginning. Yeah. We didn't play it again. We did not play that game again. We liked what we played, but they had a fucking time. It's like, why would you ruin a game that way? To me, like, I'm sorry, I don't see how that's fun. Like, for me to rush through it, like, I want to. You give me so many things to do to kill zombies, but I'm being timed throughout the whole game. I'm sorry, to this day, that does not make sense to me.
Yeah, like it's fights actively against the playground aspect of it, where you're giving me all these different things to do to these zombies, and it makes no sense.
All right, so then you have Forza Motorsport 5. So this Forza Motorsport 5, where I'm not really into Forza, so that wasn't really a big deal for me. I mean, it looked beautiful, but all those games look beautiful. Every time they came out, they looked beautiful. Yeah. But just like Gran Turismo, but it just was not my interest. But that was a good launch game. I mean, it was still a launch game, like for a racer, for a game to really show off how good the game looks and whatever, like how this console can run these games or whatever.
It's the game that I most played because there was nothing else that really caught my interest. Like eventually, we played Rise together, right?
Yeah,
like the majority of it. Yeah, we played that together, and I thought that was a lot of fun actually. But originally, I never got it like at launch because it didn't seem to be reviewing too well and didn't seem to hold up very well. I actually ended up liking that a lot more than I think a lot of the reviews would indicate. And part of that is playing co-op. I mean, I think anytime you can play with your friends, it improves the experience. Even if it's a really bad game, you can kind of, laugh about it while you're playing it. But yeah, Forza. I mean, this is really where I spent the majority of my Forza time before, like, then falling into the Horizon series. But it was still, like you said, because it was kind of just that motorsport stuff, it felt very sterile. This one, I think, is the one where they also had like the Grand Touring guys now, but the at the time, what are those guys' names? Like Clarkson and them, the British TV show hosts.
Oh, Top Gear. Top Gear?
Yeah, Top Gear guys. They had them doing like the descriptions of the car, like the Mercedes-Benz is the most beautiful sounding machine in the world. And then you can spin the car around to make it go vroom, vroom or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think about that in Yakuza without like the voice like somebody doing a voice acting or whatever, like talking about it when they talk about alcohol. They have descriptions of alcohol when you ride, like, because it's real brands, and about what year they won. Like if they won a award for a year, say it was the best brandy of 2020 something whatever. That's or funny. Like 2013. So like, I was like, wow. So I said, how much money are they getting for this?
Alcohol perverts loving this shit.
Anyway, where I'm at here. Rise. So Rise, yes, that game. It was now. it didn't really catch my interest because of the reviews. So when I saw reviews for it, I was like, oh, well, this ain't a good game. And I got it free when I got my Xbox One the year later because of the deal. And I liked it a whole lot more than the reviews did. It was all right. I mean, no, it wasn't a great game, but it was fun.
No. And it was also probably the best looking game at launch, right?
If yes.
I'm remembering
the
correctly.
look of the game, yes. The look, it was made by the guys who did Crysis, right? Using the Crytek engine at the time. And it looked good, and it played well. I mean, it was different, and I mean, it wasn't like a great game or anything, but it was all right. It was an all right game, and when we played co-op, I really enjoyed the co-op of that game. But I don't think I ever finished Rise. I played a lot of it, and now I'm thinking like, man, I want to go play it now. Just to finally beat it 10 years later. But that was. I think it's very underrated. I think that's one of those underrated games of the generation. I don't know. Like looking back now, it's like, man, I don't know about like playing it. I was like, maybe 70 or something. But darn, people had it like in the 60s and or Lord, like they weren't really talking really good about this game. And I think I don't know. I don't think it got its fair shake. But whatever. It was the Xbox tax was then, Daniel. It was then too. So
still don't know what that means, but yeah, because I think some of the criticism was like, "Oh, it's too much like a QuickTime event." But it's like, then playing it, it's like, how is this any different than you press this button when they do this move, and that's really what it was. It just felt kind of weird that people were criticizing it in this way, and it really didn't end up feeling like any of those criticisms were particularly valid.
Yeah, the gameplay polarized reception because some people call it basic and thought despite the fluid and smooth combat and the additional reward system, which added a layer of strategy to the game's execution system hindered the flow of the game by slowing down the overall pace of combat. He added that the game's combat lacks complexity and depth and was too repetitive for players to enjoy. I can agree. I think it maybe got too repetitive at a time. I can see that. But I don't know. Just seems like your game and giving it a 5. Like your game. Come on, you're not. You're not. What's the magazine?
Edge.
Always Edge. Yeah, you're not Edge. Even though they're European, but you're not Edge. don't get all snobby on us. All right. But GameScout gave it a 4 out of 10. I was like, come on, man, 4 out of 10. I think that's a little harsh. Yeah. All right. So what other game we got here? Let me go back up here. Killer Instinct. Now this game, I was very confused on. Like I was excited that they got it, but then they said free to play. Yeah. And you got to buy the characters, and I did not like that at all. like that. I was like, I don't like how that works. Like when I look at the game, when I saw gameplay of it, I liked what it looked like. I said, oh, this looks fun. But then it's like you got to buy the characters, or you can just play with rotating characters for every 2 weeks or something like that. They rotate. Oh, now they changed that to once a week now. It's rotating characters, which I don't know. I guess it's better. I was thinking like, yo, just buy the game. Damn, just to get all the characters. Anyway, yeah, I did not like the free to play aspect. When they said free to play, I did not like that. I was like, what? At first, I was thinking like this free game. I was like, okay, this game free game with the Xbox, so people can
pack in. Finally, it's
back. Which they should have did. I think now this should have been free, and you get these characters when we come up with these other characters, you get them for free or something. Damn, because now I'm looking. Like I don't know what's. I still think the Street Fighter thing was still worse because you still bought it for $60 and they had nothing. At the beginning. I mean, eventually it became something, but I think that was still. I still don't think they should have done that, but I just don't like I didn't like that aspect of like them just making a game that way. I was like, just make the Killer Instinct game. Just have the whole game. ready. If it's not ready, it's not ready. Or if you want to do it like that, then I'm sorry, just make it free or something. Just make it like, hey, you pay pay it like $30 and you're going to get these other characters when they come out. I don't know. It's just something. You had to do something, man. I didn't like that they went that route with that game. Yeah. Like that kind of sucked. That really sucked. So where am I at, Daniel? Oh yeah. Okay, so now we get into Loco Cycle. So you got to tell me about this, Daniel, because I totally forgot about this game.
Yeah, so Loco Cycle was made by Twisted Pixel, who had done Explosion Man and those games. Also the wacky, wavy, inflatable tube Connect game shooter.
Was that the comic game too? The comic book guy with the yellow face?
I'm trying to think if they did, what was it, Starman or something like that?
Not Starman. No, not Starman.
Not Starman. Oh, right, yeah, because it wasn't a star. It was Comic Jumper?
Yeah, because that game is a game I wanted to like, man, but it was too hard.
Yeah, they did do a Comic Jumper, too. I didn't realize. I forgot about that. But this one, I forget who was the voice of the cycle, but it was supposed to be like, hey, I think this was after Microsoft had picked them up or started publishing them or something.
And Lisa Foilis, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was James just Gunn. Like James Gunn was there too. Former actors such as Fred Rodriguez, James Gunn, Tom Savini.
Oh man!
Cut scenes from internet talents Michael Jones and Lindsey Jones of Rooster Teeth fame.
I forgot some of that stuff, but yeah, like coming off of those games, I was kind of excited about what they were going to do next. And then this ended up just kind of being, like it didn't get, well, okay, I was going to say it didn't get awful scores, but once again, Edge rears its ugly head, 2 out of 10. Okay, yeah, maybe it did get even worse scores than I remember. Maybe that's why I didn't even kind of give it a second look, really. But that was kind of disappointing to see that, because it was kind of like it reminded me kind of Road Rash. You know, you're riding on this motorcycle, but the motorcycle had like a mind of its own or something like that. So you're doing like these crazy flips and tricks and stuff to knock all the other people off of their motorcycles. But yeah, looking at these review scores for Xbox One launch titles, this is rough, Dominic. It's real rough.
Yeah, they don't like those games.
You might be right about this Xbox tax thing.
I didn't think they were that bad. I mean, it was only 2 of them though. Well, Daniel, it was just Rise of Rome and was it Dead Rising? Dead Rising 3. Those are only 2 games that I thought were all right. And Rise of Rome, I didn't know. Based on reviews, I saw they weren't good, so I really just thought it was Dead Rising 3.
Yeah.
But now looking back, I'm like, hey, Rise of Rome wasn't that bad. Even though I wouldn't have had to pay $60 for it. So
yeah, nah.
So yeah, it really was nothing. It was nothing out for either console for me.
No,
for me it was nothing for either console. That's why I didn't get any. I didn't care to get either one when they launched. They had the Beard engine for Local Cycle, man.
Yeah,
I wonder how that engine's doing.
Harry.
Oh no, the Beard engine. It went on to be in games on the Oculus Rift in 2019.
Oh yeah, because I think they got picked up by Meta at some point. I think they're owned by Facebook now.
All right. So, what else came out on Xbox? Is anything else? I missed anything? For Xbox? That's it?
No, I think that's it.
All right. So, yeah, that was Xbox launch titles. Yeah, great games, man. I mean, you're basically playing third-party games, man, basically, in that system.
Yeah.
For either one, really.
Where was the Halo, Dominic? Where was the Gears of War? It came out next year,
the Master Chief Collection.
Yeah. and then didn't work for 2 years after that.
Yeah, exactly. It was until 2 years after that it became great.
That's so rough.
It became great when it got closer to Halo 5 or after Halo 5. I forget what happened. Was it after or before? Anyway. What we got here? We got Super Mario 3D World came out for the Wii U. So Wii U, they say like, man, these new consoles coming out, we gotta put out a good game. They put out 3D World. It was a good game. Just that unfortunately it's still on the platform that people didn't buy.
Exactly. Unfortunately, I didn't even play it until it came out on the Switch.
Yeah. So yeah, 3D World, man, I really enjoyed it. When I got my hands on it. I like being Cat Mario. Even though I prefer Dog Mario, but I guess dogs can't climb. So I guess that makes sense. But they could have been Monkey Mario. It could have been Monkey Mario then. But anyway, yeah. I thought that game was great. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was gonna be like an okay game, like saying, it's just something a little different, but it's just like New Super Mario Brothers, and they got cat suit. But no, it's like 3D. It's more a 3D world, but kind of it's almost like an in between of like a 3D Mario and New Super Mario Brothers, and they kind of put it in there where it's like, yeah, you're playing some like almost 2D-ish, but it's still 3D world, and it's kind of it's not up close like other 3D Mario games. It's kind of the camera's a little farther back and everything is done more of a what is it? I'm thinking of stereoscopic, I guess 3D, something like that.
Yeah.
But it's fully 3D. But yeah, it's cool. I do not like this guy wearing this cat paws up here. I'm looking at the director of the game. Got this cat paw cat ears. That's disturbing to me. But it got a 93 on Metacritic for the Wii U. But the Switch one got 89. I guess I wonder why it went down for that. It ran slower up there. They went slower.
Maybe it's just because they had already
gave it a 7 out of 10 on the Switch, 9.6 out of 10 on the Wii U. So I guess they were just saying like
Nintendo tax, Dominic. What's going on?
They're saying like you're putting out the same game, even though
that's
added
exactly
content.
what it was.
Well,
even though nobody played it. Yeah.
So what else? We got here. We got Tearaway for the PS Vita. You gotta tell me about this game, Dan, because I don't know what this is.
So Tearaway, I'm trying to think of who made it, but it was a game that basically utilized all the features of the PlayStation Vita. Like one of the few games that utilized in a clever way the back touch and stuff like that. So it was Media Molecule that made this game.
Okay.
And they're of course the ones that did Little Big Planet and stuff like that. But you play as this little guy. He's basically like a kind of a paper doll in this very like paper buildy world, like a very crafty world. And just the way they implemented all of the features of the Vita, like you take a picture of yourself and then you are the sun throughout the game, and you would poke things up through the ground using the back touch. And it was just a very, very good platformer with that stuff implemented. I think they eventually released this game on like regular consoles as well, but I can't imagine that it holds up quite the same. Like the platforming was fun and everything. Okay, maybe it never did. I thought for some reason they did something like that on the PS4 or 5 or something. Well, 4. But yeah, it was probably, I mean, up until that point, it was definitely the best Vita game, and it may still be the best PlayStation Vita game between the actual gameplay itself and then the actual use of the hardware. So, yeah, fantastic game. How did it review? Yeah, 9s, 8s. Destructoid gave it a 10 out of 10, so, like, awesome. It's sad, though, because it's one of those things that's going to basically die on the Vita. Like, you can't do the same thing on these other consoles, although you could actually that's very true. The Switch, oh man, goddamn Media Molecule being owned by Sony, and Sony not putting things out on Nintendo hardware, because that would be fantastic if they, I mean, even then you still don't have the back touch stuff So like you could do a similar thing as the Switch on like the PlayStation 5 with the touchpad on the front. So like they could do something similar, but yeah, this game just can't really exist anywhere else. Like that back touch stuff is just so uniquely weird.
Tear away, tear away, tear away.
So you have played the game because that was the intro song there.
All right. So what we got here? Is this the last of the 2013? All right. So we got The Legend of Zelda: Link Between Worlds for the 3DS came out.
Wow.
And this was what a reimagining of A Link Between.
It was basically like the sequel to A Link to the Past.
Link to the Past. I was about to say the title again. I was thinking like, what was the other one called? Yeah,
it's basically like the sequel to that. But this is where they kind of open up the formula, and you can kind of choose the dungeons in whatever direction you wanted. I believe where you were getting the tools that you needed instead of from the dungeons, you would get them from the shop where the little rabbit guy that looks like Nabbit works. And you could either rent the items or you could buy the items. But if like you rented them and then you died, he would take them back. And then, of course, there is the Between the Worlds part where instead of like a light world and a dark world thing, you would like stick to the wall and become this flat Link. And then you could go into these crevices that would take you into the dark world. And then you would move on this linear plane, side scrolling, almost as like an homage to Zelda 2. Hey, that game is really awesome. And is even better experienced on an emulator because you can run it at like a higher resolution. And it looks really good. I remember playing that a couple of years ago on one of the PC emulators.
Oh man, that's awesome! Still in games, yeah. All right, so
I bought that game and backed it up personally, of course, Dominic. The only way to play emulators.
Yeah, whatever.
I did buy that game.
So, yeah, I know you bought the game. All right. So where are we at now? Now we gotta go back 20 years. 20 years ago, we're going to, what the hell is this? Big Rigs Over the Road Racing?
Yeah.
You gotta tell me what the hell this is.
So this is basically like a meme game. It shows up on Games Done Quick quite a bit because this game is so bad and broken that when you go backwards in the game, like in reverse, you can basically go exponentially faster and faster. Like there's no limit to how fast you can go backwards. So it's shown up there quite a few times. And kind of if you watch Giant Bomb content back in the day, Alex Navarro from Giant Bomb actually held the world record run for a while there because he was the Big Rig speedrunner. He also was the guy that reviewed it for GameSpot, and I think it got like a 1 out of 10 or something like that. It's famously bad.
Yeah, I'm looking like, it's cited as one of the worst video games of all time. Game publication. It got an 8 out of 100 on Metacritic.
That is a wild score.
Like it was on X Play's games you should never buy segment. Yeah, good God. I mean, how this game came to be known? Like, how did it become big enough for people to actually care about reviewing it?
That I think this is during the era where like a site like GameSpot felt like they had to review every single game. So they would have like a freelancer work on, because that's what Alex Navarro was for GameSpot. And he was the guy that kind of got the crap games. So I think that's probably what it was. You know, it just came out at the right time where, like nowadays, there are just too many games like you're never going to be able to review every single game that comes out. But I think back in the day,
if you try,
yeah. But back in the day, you could basically touch every single game that was releasing.
All right. So where we at here? Now we got 1080 Avalanche for the GameCube. So you gotta tell me about this one too.
Yeah. So basically, this was the Nintendo
I know 1080
published
from N64.
Yeah,
but not from here.
Yeah, 1080 Avalanche came out at a time where like SSX had already come out, and it was the like realistic version of snowboarding, and was just not hitting in the same way. But I thought it was, worth mentioning because it was a Nintendo published title. This is, we don't really see Nintendo doing sports games anymore, but there was a time where, they were doing stuff like that, and including, sports like snowboarding. So that's kind of it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Wasting my time. All right. And we have Deus Ex Invisible War came out for the Windows and the Xbox. This was the sequel to Deus Ex. I remember this being talked about a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Because Deus Ex was really popular.
Because they ruined the series.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, see, I didn't know that. I didn't know that that's what the talk was, because the only reviews I've seen were Game Informer, which gave it a 9.5 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
And I seen IGN, which gave the game a 9 out of 10. Those are the two reviews I've seen. So I'm thinking it is a great game. I didn't realize that other people were down on it.
Yeah.
Because GamePro gave it a 5 out of 5. Yeah, it's. I mean, the Metacritic,
the PlayStation fans, Dominic.
The Metacritic gave it the PC at 80 out of 100 and the Xbox 84 out of 100. I'm a little surprised with that. I mean, that's a good score, but that's lower than
good enough score.
It's not. It's not good enough the ones I've seen. Everybody else they gave it a perfect score. Like I used to be jealous that this game was out on Xbox. So I was like, oh man, it's not on PlayStation.
Yeah.
I said I want to play this game. I never played Deus Ex until Deus Ex Human Revolution or whatever the hell it's called.
Mm-hmm.
What was it called?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, okay, yeah, because the next one was called Mankind Divided.
Yep.
So yeah, I didn't play it till then. So I only heard about the game. I knew people like Deus Ex. I used to thought it looked weird. But I was like, oh, people like that game. Then Invisible War was coming out. I was hoping it's coming to PlayStation. Never did. But yeah, I didn't know people were like, oh man, the story was. Some people didn't like the story, or they said it dumbed down. I guess for the consoles.
Mm-hmm.
Some people believe, but I don't know. I kind of I mean, I don't really want to play it, but I did want at the time. I did want to play it, but now I'm just kind of like, okay, I'll just play Mankind Divided. I didn't play that one yet.
It probably doesn't age well when you compare it to those two games, especially because they definitely went back closer to what that original game was while also modernizing them a lot more. This was around the time though that they did both Deus Ex Invisible War and that Thief game that was exclusive to the Xbox, and basically fanboys were flipping their shit about that.
Oh, okay. They didn't like Thief either?
No, not the Xbox one. Basically the same. Oh, okay. It was basically the same, complaints that everything was being dumbed down for consoles.
Oh, well then that means I would like it then. So I'm okay with that.
Maybe.
All right. So where we at here? We got Wild Arms Altered Code. It came out in Japan. I don't know if it came out in the US. This is Wild Arms, but this is a remake of the first game.
Oh.
So with better graphics and everything, and I did something.
Oh, what did you do?
I moved.
Did you move from up there somehow?
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so I don't know if this one came in the US. I'm thinking no. But because I felt like this is probably one of those instances where like Dragon Quest had a remake of something that came on PlayStation 2 of one of their games, but it never came over, and we didn't get it until years later.
Looks like it was published by somebody in North America, but I'm not sure when it came out.
Oh, Oh, like did it come out recently, or like maybe more recent than then? Yeah, because I was like, oh, I didn't know they did a remake. I didn't really think about remakes.
Yeah, they've got it listed as November 27, 2003 here, so maybe. But I never realized that this had happened. Because Wild Arms, like that first one before Final Fantasy VII came out, I was like, man, this is awesome. Like, I don't know if Final Fantasy VII is going to be as good as this. And then that's a series that basically like fell off my radar as soon as Final Fantasy came out. Like, I know there were several more after, but it's long gone, fallen to history at this point.
I see 2005. I mean, that's damn late. Yeah, so they had a remake that came out. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'll play that version because that was a game I was
remake that game now, don't
we? Yeah,
just like Last of Us
re-release. Yeah, and at least that would make a little more sense, though. I mean, that's talking about 20 years, 20 years from the remake.
You're right. We shouldn't do that. We should do Wild Arms 20 or whatever they're on now, if they got that far.
All right, so so that's cool. What did they give it? This game, did they like it? And I'm trying to see if there's a wiki of this shit.
Yeah, I got it here.
I don't have a wiki. I mean, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Well, that's just a Wild Arms wiki.
I was gonna say it's just the subline of the Wild Arms one.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they give this. Was this a Metacritic here? Okay, they got it. It was on 73. It looks like. All right. I mean, I guess that's okay. IGN gave it a 77. He says it's a little linear, a little easy, and a little unattractive. Yeah, I'm not really finding these people sexy, Daniel. The characters still have a lot of personality. A solid remake of a classic game, PSX Extreme said. Think about its fantasy setting with the Wild West motif that makes the game enjoyable to play. That's what Gaming Age said. But what did Lord Batman gave it a 0, Daniel.
Oh no,
he
Lord
said,
Batman.
he said boring and uninspired gameplay combined with the most dull and cliche story characters. I say one has to wonder how we managed to play these subpar games 15 years ago. Oh my goodness, he did this review 5 years ago, and like, yo, I mean, of course they were the cliche. I mean, it wasn't much. It wasn't really much to go against, you know. Yeah. I mean, cliche was almost just shay, right? I mean, it was just normal. I mean, yes, if it comes out like around now or even like 5 years ago or something like that, yeah, it would be like, oh, this is really uninspired. I think then it's still expired. It's still aspiring then. I don't think it's too cliche at PlayStation. Well, this is a remake, so it came out on PlayStation. Yeah, I think cliche storylines were okay to still come out.
Yeah,
in game. All right. Let me see. Where we at now? Next game is
Onimusha.
I just made that up. I made Shay. I think Shay. Is Shay a word? That gotta be a Shay. Isn't cliche? It's like the prefix.
Yeah. Post-Shay, pre-Shay, cliche.
All right. Onimusha Blade Warriors. This was the fighting game of Onimusha.
Nobody asked for this.
What you say?
Nobody asked for this. Give us a real Onimusha.
And that's why I think it didn't get reviewed very well either. Yeah. I'll put cut. Damn. I'm trying to do a copy so I can see what the game got reviewed. But yeah, no, I didn't even know this. I didn't even know about this day. I mean, I remember it now, but like when I saw it, I was like, there was a fighting game? It's like, oh yeah, I think I sort of remember like it being announced or something, but yeah, this is I don't even see a Metacritic on a damn wiki site. I'm just gonna say it was not good. That's all I'm gonna say. No, they don't got like reception or nothing. Man, who did the wiki for this page? God damn. Well, Game Facts at 60%. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it. Is there a Metacritic? Oh, here we go. On Metacritic, they gave it 65. Yeah. Games Radar gave it a 72. Electronic, I think this Gaming Monthly, 72. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, not good. I don't know what they were thinking with this Capcom. I mean, they are a fighting game company. You know, they have some of the top fighting games with Capcom, but I guess they didn't put those people on this game.
Yeah.
And really, they shouldn't have done a whole game of Onimusha. I guess they were trying to do Bushido Blade or something like that, Daniel. Maybe they're thinking like, hey, we can go after that market. All right.
We need a new Bushido Blade, Dominic.
What do you say?
We need a new Bushido Blade.
Yeah. All right, so now we're going 30 years, 1993. Sonic the Hedgehog Spinball was released. I think we talked about this on the covers of how I had it. I got it for Christmas and how my dad was really good at it. Yeah. He beat it. I really liked the game. I thought it was enjoyable. Even though it's not really high on Sonic games, I think it's better than... I'm going to say it's better than all the ones where there's Amy, the Hedgehog, and all the other characters. Like, this one had the characters from the TV show in here. From the Sonic the Hedgehog with that bunny with the robot legs and Fox Girl. Those are my characters there.
Yeah.
Those are my side characters. They should have been the ones in these new games, not these female hedgehog and stuff like that. Wearing a dress. What the hell is this? Should have been like a naked fox with boots on. Like, that's what it should have been. All right, what else we got here? We got Sonic the Hedgehog Chaos on the Game Gear. Yes, I really like this game. But this is where I can finally play as Tails flying in a Game Gear game. And also, I didn't have Sonic 3, so this was like the only game I had where Tails could fly. So I really love that. And yeah, the game was fun. I really liked it. And I'm trying to think, was this the one you were going after? No, that was Triple Trouble. I forgot who was the main bad in this one. I mean, of course, Robotnik was in here, but I thought there was a side character. Mm-hmm. I thought there was, but maybe there wasn't. But yeah, I really, that was probably like this is Sonic Chaos. I think I got this the same time I got a Game Gear. I think I got it within the same year. So yeah, I'm sorry. Something came on TV. So yeah, this is one of those top Sonic games, like that I played too, like back in the 90s. This was awesome. Also, we got Kirby's Pinball Land. So another pinball game came out, Daniel. They were going against Sonic. Mm-hmm. Kirby's Pinball. I mean, he fits too. You know, he's like he's a big ball, but he's more floaty. But I don't know if this was a good game though. I'm not sure if this was rated any good or anything.
Because the one I remember, isn't it Kirby's Dream Course? Is that the other pinball one?
Lunchchild Game Monthly gave it a 7.25 out of 10. It got 70% on game rankings. So I mean it was okay.
Perfectly fine.
Yeah. Perfectly fine for the Game Boy. I mean, it's 1993.
Yeah.
This is what. Okay, yeah. This was released in Japan. The Spinball was released in the United States for Sonic. Spinball. So I don't know. Maybe we have mentioned the Japanese launch of that game. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know if it was from the cover or Japanese launch. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. And the Sonic the Hedgehog Chaos, that was... Damn, I don't know if that was released. Was that a US release or Japanese release? I'm just going to say it was a release. It was released.
It came out. It existed.
Yeah. All right, then. So that's it for the flashback segment. So now we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we get to the gaming news.
All right.
And we're back. So let's get to the gaming news. What we got?
All right, Dominic. So first up, we got Resident Evil 4 VR mode for the remake. That is coming out December 8th, just a couple of days away from recording this podcast. That is unfortunately, of course, PSVR exclusive. Well, PSVR 2 exclusive.
a thing that you might have forgotten released this year.
Yes. Yeah, released this year. Yes.
Yeah, so that sucks. I hope at some point that comes to PC as well. I don't know if I have any hope, though, because they never did with the, was it Resident Evil 7? And
like, how much money did Sony spend? And I think, and whatever they spend, they overspend, because I don't think it was worth it.
Yeah.
Like, for them, it was not worth them spending that money.
Yeah, no, they aren't getting a return on their investment. People aren't buying PlayStation VR 2s at this point for Resident Evil VR. They might pick them up when they're on discount because that game is there. But yeah, I don't see this being a system seller just because I don't see anything being a system seller for that. They've already shown what they're going to do with that in way of support. And I don't think it's very good. So if I'm buying a VR headset nowadays, even if I have the desire to play this game, I just deal with playing the old Resident Evil 4 in VR on my Oculus 2 or 3 or whatever. Well, my Quest, my Meta Quest 2 or 3 at this point, because those just seem like better headsets and more functional headsets. I shouldn't say better necessarily, but they give me more ability to play games, as we'll talk about, a little bit later in the news. So yeah, I think the PSVR 2 is a failure at this point. Like, is it too strong to say that at this point, Dominic?
Yeah, it's too early.
Okay.
That's like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much had to sell to not be a failure? Like,
yeah.
What? Yeah.
Because I don't hear anybody talking about that thing at all.
Well, it's expensive. I mean, so I think it's going to be limited people having it.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's kind of hard for me to say people should talk about it when, like, are they sitting on the shelves too? Or are they just, how much are made and how much are being sold? Like, maybe, I don't know.
I'm checking to see if I can go to bestbuy.com and buy one right now, which I can, apparently.
Oh, okay.
I mean, that's not to say that, they're not selling. That's just to say that, that they are out there. But I mean, I guess that's my point. It's not that I'm hearing like everyday people out in the world not talking about it. I'm not even hearing the podcast that I'm listening to hear about it, which to me means there just aren't games coming out for this thing that are worth, people talking about and getting that traffic. So
I mean, I'm just saying,
makes me think the support's not there.
I just don't know what people will get that when you can get the MetaQuest. Like, I don't care what you can say. Like, people before this thing came out, they kept telling you why this thing costs this much. And I'm just thinking, like, and that doesn't matter. I don't care. You can say this thing has the technology of the warp drive in the Star Trek, and it don't matter if it costs too much if people can't use it.
Yeah.
If people are not going to buy it, it's too expensive. So when they look at the MetaQuest, they think like, man, why this must cost so much less and it's wireless.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't need to have a connected to another system
that costs
or my PC.
Yeah.
Or I can have it without it. Exactly. I can buy games without it. So you tell me more powerful. Right now, people don't care about the power right now. No. Like you just gotta get people into it.
No, in fact, like it wasn't necessary early on. We would see visibly degraded games in VR, but because of the way you're experiencing them, it added a level of quote unquote realism, to them. It could look like crap on a really low resolution screen, but the immersion of it was still there because of what you were able to do. Now, obviously they need to take some sort of step forward to give a reason why this new product should be purchased over something else. But I can't help but wonder if Sony were to give up on the VR, like making their own hardware. Could we see at some point, and maybe this doesn't happen with Sony immediately, but could we see Microsoft teaming up with Meta to make their hardware work with the Xbox, in the same way that, I guess I'll just skip to that story because it makes the most sense logically. Steam Link is now going to be an app on the Meta Quest 2, 3, and Pro headsets. So now you, instead of having a cable that you plug into your headset, a USB cable, and then plugging it into your computer to play PC exclusive games like Half-Life Alyx or something like that, you can do this wirelessly now, which is fantastic.
Praise Jesus.
I wouldn't go that far yet, Dominic, because the specs that they're recommending, maybe a little out of line with what you're running. I remember having trouble running natively on my Rift, Half-Life Alyx. So I don't know how that experience will be for you, but now you can at least try it out.
I just want to look. I could play somewhat good, the Fallout. But it was like but going through the loops, I wonder if me just not going through the loops I had to go through to do that on the Quest would make it easier,
right?
For me just to play the Fallout game.
Yeah, so that's fantastic to see that happening. I would be super interested to see if Microsoft or Sony would be willing to make that move and make a deal with Meta and basically concede the hardware to them. I think it's rumored that Valve is still working on VR hardware and might have a new headset to announce at some point. I don't want there to be necessarily a monopoly here in this space, but at the same time, it very much feels like in order for mass adoption to increase here, they kind of need to get behind a single thing and get people into the VR before then they start segmenting it off for themselves and saying, okay, this one does this a little better and this one does this a little better. Right now, the library of games is just not there, and that's why I complained about the PS VR 2 not being backwards compatible. I know there's a lot of hoops that they would have to jump through to try and get that stuff working. But if you're telling me the limited amount of VR games that I already have is now going to be blocked off from playing with this new hardware, and now I'm going to have to start that library all over again, that's a concept that I've moved away from. Even the consoles are falling in line with the idea of backwards compatibility and like open compatibility in the same way that I can go back and play Duke Nukem 3D on my computer from, 25 years ago or whatever it is at this point. So, this VR thing where we're like, okay, you got to start your collection all over again. And, it's a big ask with these prices.
That just didn't make sense to me. And them explaining why they couldn't do, I don't know if they were explaining, but people were explaining why that couldn't be, like how hard it would be to do that. Well, then you should have made it so it could be.
Exactly.
Done.
You're the ones that designed this hardware. Like, you should have took that into account when you were creating this.
Like, that's crazy that you would... in this day and age, like, shit is getting worse out there. And costs, like, with costs and everything, like, you're gonna make it so that I will have to buy not only buy a whole new set. That's okay. That's somewhat understandable because, this is more powerful, but I can't play the old games?
Yeah.
Are you crazy? Excuse me. Yeah, I had to pay $500 for this, and I can't play the old games I bought on the original VR headset. And then if I want to just play that, I have to still have my other system hooked up because it has to stay hooked up to it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can now. They said you can hook up. You can hook up the old VR headset with the PS5.
Yeah, you can run those.
You can do that
backwards.
But but then you still have to put another headset on. Like that's just ridiculous. You know, like you have to.
This is my collection of headsets. Yeah.
Yeah, like you. This ain't like man. Like you. I don't know, man. Yeah.
Plus, one cable aside, but the PlayStation VR 2 is still a cabled headset, and the Quests are not. And there's a level of freedom there that is just, uncompared.
I mean, I understand you see its power, but man, I don't. That, like I said, at this point, man, when you're trying to get people to play this thing, that don't matter. Mm-hmm. Like you said, it's about experience.
Yep. So we shall see. I really hope that remake VR edition comes elsewhere so that it's playable and not trapped there. But as it is, I mean, we'll see. I mean, this is if it did come out earlier this year, which feels like a lifetime ago, and also just yesterday, this is the first holiday season for the PSVR 2. So, if it flies off the shelves and is a big gift for families or whatever, like, good for Sony. I guess they need to pump up support again so that they can give these people that bought this thing some games. But if it isn't, then yeah. And now we're talking about the PlayStation the PlayStation Portal as well now. So you're talking about Sony releasing two pretty major pricing wise pieces of accessory hardware for the PlayStation 5 this year. Like, I don't know that they're necessarily, there's probably a decent amount of crossover there, actually, I would say, which is basically people with a lot of money and maybe not enough TVs or something, But at the same time, I guess there isn't, because it's like, one, I'm trapping myself in this VR world, and the other is like, maybe I've got this portable thing so I can hang out with the family while playing video games because they're using the TV that I would rather be using.
Yeah, exactly. Because you have to be connected to it. It's different.
Yeah.
Like, if there's one thing, like, you can unconnect it and wirelessly be somewhere else playing PlayStation with the VR headset. But, that just makes it weird. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, wait a minute. That's what we're talking about? Because I was looking at football. We're still talking about the VR, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So, all right, switch up stories here, Dominic. Beyond Good and Evil 2 20th Anniversary Edition. I believe the last podcast we talked about that in the Flashback segment.
Yes.
So a listing for this has appeared on the Xbox store, and apparently some people were actually able to play a early build of this via PlayStation Plus before it was even announced. I think as a result of this leak, Ubisoft has since come out and officially announced that this is a thing that's happening. It's running at 60 frames per second, 4K, based on the listing on the Xbox store.
Is this based off the HD version that released years ago?
I would imagine like they're using that in some way, shape, or form, but it looks pretty good. There's some screenshots that are floating around now that were pulled from the Xbox store. It looks like one of those games if you were running it on the PC, like all those YouTube videos that you always see whenever you look up an old game of something and it's like running in an emulator with a 4K texture pack and stuff like that. It looks like that. If this were to appear like on a Game Pass or something, I would absolutely give it a shot, just to see how that game kind of holds up. It was always a game that I thought I would really be into, but then when I played it, I didn't really grab me in the same way that I would have thought. So I would like to see in this day and age if it just feels old and clunky with a new coat of paint, or if it maybe my matured taste, would be more willing to give it a shot. So What do you think, Dominic? You were huge on this game back in the day. Would this be something you would want to revisit? Or
yeah,
are there
it
just
would
too
be.
many
God
games?
damn, the man was wide fucking open, you piece of shit. God damn it. Oh, I'm sorry. Watch this game. I probably shouldn't have that on. All right. I would like to come back to this game. I tried to come back, I think, with the HD collection, but other games were out. Maybe I might can fit this in now, because I do want to. Because I mean, there's never going to be a part 2. It's never going to happen, at least in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's, or at least it's not going to be what I want. Like actually a sequel with Jade.
Yeah.
That's just a sequel to the freaking ending of this game, and not something where they were talking about some prequel shit.
Yeah.
Like what the I don't even know what the hell. That didn't even now I'm thinking back. It's like that don't even make sense. It's like you left a cliffhanger ending, but then you talk about part 2 is going to be a prequel. I'm like, no, I don't know. Listen, because now listen, how long it took you to get to even part 2. So I don't know there's going to be a part 3 where you have an actual true sequel. I need you just to fix this story before you want to do some other shit. Like, end this story. Like, end it, like because I don't think you're ever going to make a game again.
Yeah.
I don't know how that Jordan Gore-Levitt stuff is doing with that part 2.
I think that partnership is fully dead, Dominic. At least I would hope so.
Because Marcel Ancel, or Michael Ancel, I would say.
Michael Ansel.
Michael Ansel, yes. It's like, he's not there no more, right?
He's long gone. So he's like running a zoo or something.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, this is nice. It's nice that they did that. I honestly would rather have them do something like this than a whole full-on remake, because I'm like, nah, I want a sequel. So either a sequel or nothing. I mean, well,
plus we see how it turned out for Prince of Persia. So
yeah. But see, Prince of Persia, it has an ending.
Oh yeah. There have been multiple sequels to that. That's fine.
Yeah, they had multiple sequels. But this, like, no. All right. So I mean, this one did have an ending, but it had a little cliffhanger, that something could happen, more can happen. All right, so what else we got, man?
All right, next up, Dominic, the Grand Theft Auto trilogy is coming to mobile via Netflix games on December 14th. There we go. So if you're a Netflix subscriber, you can check out 3 Vice City and San Andreas on your mobile device.
The tweet I gave you, man, with the guy. Yeah, I'm showing, tapping his feet on the controller. Well, Rex. It was using Rex from Toy Story feet on the controller, saying, like, this is him, like, tipping the strippers.
Yeah.
in the game.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, obviously those games are already available via mobile, but now if you're a Netflix subscriber, you can play those.
Yeah, and it's also not played on the TV like I wish they were, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, that's what I wish it was. I wish it was just like these mobile. Yeah, I wish it was like, cause they were already kind of doing it with the whole Minecraft game. It was just like you hit the remote control or what choices you made. Just make it so that at least you can like have a wireless, some type of controller or something, like they do with the Xbox app on the Samsung, those Samsung TVs or whatever. I mean, at least give you that type of option or something. Or, like, you can use your phone, like, as a controller. Because you can do that already with these smart TVs with the remote control. And you can play it without me just having to play it on, like, to literally play it on my phone. Yeah, I just want to get it. Or, like, if I'm doing PC. If you're on PC, you can pay it. You can play it streaming through there with a controller. Like to do with the Xbox, Game Pass or with Stadia or what is it called, Luna? But yeah, it's
yes, Luna.
And so, but yeah, I don't know, like this. I mean, yeah, you have the option, but I wish they had to give you the other option too. I just don't like
Yeah.
I just don't like playing those type of games on my phone.
Yep. Yeah, I remember buying Vice City for my phone at some point. And I think I played like the first mission, and then I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do this. So I might download it just to try it. But I've still got Valiant Hearts 2 or whatever they called the sequel that was a Netflix exclusive thing downloaded to my phone, and I haven't launched that a single time. It's been on my phone for like 6+ months. So we'll see. Other Grand Theft Auto news, Dominic. Grand Theft Auto 6. There is a trailer. There's an official date and time now. December 5th, 9 a.m. Eastern time. We're getting a trailer. You think we get a release date at the same time?
What day is that? What day is that? That's Tuesday.
Yep.
That's this Tuesday. Okay. Yep. I will be ready. I will try to get up for that. 9 a.m. Eastern time? Oh,
Eastern time.
Eastern,
yep.
Good. Oh, they fumbled the ball. What are you doing? They must know I bet it on them. They must know I bet it on them. God damn it. Jesus Christ. All right. So where I'm at here.
Grand Theft Auto.
Yes, Grand Theft Auto. Yes, I'm really looking forward to this. I want to see this game. You're playing as I mean, it seemed like
it's Florida people.
It's like some Floridians or something like that. You know, some trailer trash, maybe something like that. There, swamp people, one or the other. They're from the same ilk. But it's like I don't know. But no, yeah, I'm excited for this. I finally play a new Grand Theft Auto game, find a new story.
Yeah.
I'm curious what they would do with the multiplayer. Oh my God, the quarterback is still on his feet. He's still on his feet.
Oh my goodness.
My God, he's getting a touchdown. He ran all the way for a touchdown. Oh my fucking God. Can I cash out now? They probably won't let me cash out now. Nope. They probably say,
"Yep, they'll give us
money."
A release date here, Dominic, for this game, or is this way too early?
And I think they give you a release year.
Okay.
I think we get a release year.
So 2024. Got it. It's got to be next year, right?
I hope it is, man.
Holiday at the latest.
If it says 2025, man, I mean, I'll be happy y'all get to
nobody's
play it.
making it that far, so whatever.
Yeah. I mean, hope somebody gets to play it.
All right, and then real quick, Dominic, we got some breaking news here. Lego Fortnite has been announced. According to their website, Lego Fortnite is the first digital play experience from the long-term partnership between Lego Group and Epic, and will be available December 7th, 2023.
So I'm confused. So is this like another game, or is it just going to make Fortnite into Lego form or whatever?
It sounds like it's kind of its own thing completely. So it is going to be like an offshoot, because they are also doing Rocket Racing, which Rocket Racing is a supersonic arcade racer where players drift, fly, and boost with friends through an ever-growing selection of tracks. Rocket Racing is developed by Psyonix, the visionary team behind Rocket League. That's coming out December 8th. And then Fortnite Festival is a new music game where players can play in a band with friends or perform solo on stage with hit music from their favorite artists, built by Harmonix, the studio behind the iconic music game.
So
Rock
what they
Band.
do? Just what's the
And that's coming out December 9th.
Like, hey, what's the button you mash, like to dance and stuff in the game? What's that called?
Oh, like taunt?
That's all you're gonna do is just taunt to the music?
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, it sounds like this is its own experience as well. So Epic is releasing 3 effectively new games over 3 days, beginning December 7th. So,
yeah. And then there's going to be some Epic layoffs.
There already were.
Yeah. Well, those people who laid off, good job on those games.
Yeah.
They're coming out and they're going to
Yes, thank you for making all these games that you now are not going to get to make any money off of. That is
you got paid. You got paid, and that's it.
For a little bit,
you got paid. You got paid for your initial work, and that's it. Yeah. It's like, thank you for keeping us making the money.
I mean, I'm definitely intrigued by Rocket Racing. Like, Rocket League is pretty freaking cool, and to turn that into a proper racing game, that could be
yeah, to make a car racing game out of a car game is just amazing.
Yes. Come on, it's got flying in it, Dominic. Yeah, so that is our breaking news. I did not see anything else. There are trailers out there for season 2 of Halo, actually. I just saw that there's a trailer for that now as well, because you had mentioned that earlier. There's also a trailer out there for the Fallout TV series coming from Amazon.
I forgot about that.
I
just saw like a little snippets of it. I didn't really see a full
Walter
trailer.
Goggins is apparently in that. He's playing a ghoul, so checks out.
I thought it looked like him.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking that he just looks like a ghoul.
He kind of does.
just that he has a nose.
Exactly.
And now he just got to take the nose away. He's like, oh, look.
Poor Walter Goggins. So, yeah, that is, we'll probably talk about that next week. Along with Game Awards stuff, of course, that's happening before the next podcast. So we will have the Keeley's review next week. Until then, we got new releases here, Dominic. As you mentioned, Roller Drome is now out on the Xbox. You also have Turok 3, Shadow of Oblivion. The remaster of that is now out on PC, Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series. Turok, honestly, I think after 2 and Brood Wars, did Brood Wars come out before 3?
No, I mean, before 3, I think it did. I remember that as a sequel to 2. Yeah, after 2.
I feel like that was the last one that I remembered as a thing. Because the first 2 games were N64 exclusive, right? And then they started branching out. Yeah, so once it wasn't a Nintendo exclusive anymore, I didn't care because I didn't have one of those consoles, and I hated people that had them. They were taking my games away from me, Dominic. All right, next up, we got Batman, the Arkham Trilogy. That's now out on the Nintendo Switch. And as we had mentioned at one point, there is a Robert Pattinson, the Batman skin in that game.
Yeah. So just in time for the Switch version. That's good.
That is it's officially a part of this, and it's not on anything else just yet officially. So it seems like there might be some kind of exclusivity window or something. But when that first had leaked, I think that was part of the Epic version. So I'm sure it will come to those things, which is good because it sounds like this version of Arkham or this version of these games is not particularly good.
Man, it's messed up that they don't put the origin in here.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't want to do the work of up-resing that or down-resing, I guess, in the case of the Nintendo Switch.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. We also have Dragon Quest Monsters.
Oh my God, you're doing that interception. God fucking damn it.
Yeah, they know
Jesus, this is the first half.
Jeez. Yeah. All right, that's out on the Nintendo Switch. Dragon Quest Monsters. That seems kind of like the offshoot thing. It seems all right. I haven't seen reviews of it. And then you have Steam World Build, which is out on PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series. And that is basically a city builder, but, from the Steam World team. So I wonder how that is reviewing, actually. Let's see if anyone's actually doing reviews.
And I was being safe, too. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I should have been even more safer. I should have just picked the other fucking team.
That's one way of going about it, yes. Let's see. GameSpot.
Oh, my God.
That's tutorial.
You fucking shitting me.
Yeah. Do we actually have reviews here, people, or is it because the holiday nobody's reviewing games right now? It feels like we're already in the midst of like people working on Game of the Year review or Game of the Year lists and stuff like that. So like most game sites aren't even like posting a lot of news. I mean, Game Informer's been terrible about that anyway, but yeah.
And even some of the reviews are even being a little late or something. Yeah. Some of these games. I mean, they already know we're going to win.
Do we?
They No, I mean, like, they know who's going to be their top games. Yeah. Like, they know it's going to be Baldur's Gate, or they pick between Baldur's Gate, Zelda, and Spider-Man. Though Spider-Man, I feel like, don't deserve to be up there.
Nah, I don't think Spider-Man's going to be up there on these sites.
It should have been. It's the same fucking game. But this is just flip your coin.
All right, Dominic. So those are the new releases. So you got anything else for the people?
Yeah, man. Watch out for those Xbox tax out there.
Yes, don't pay it. Especially because it says it's lowest price right now. I think you can get one for $349 or something. So, like, yeah, maybe now's the time to get an Xbox before they take your disc drive away in that next revision.
Yeah, they had some deals, and there's probably still some deals out there, like you get a game and something like that, controller. I didn't really look at the PlayStation deals, so I don't know if they even have any. I mean,
they had a couple, yeah. It was like $50 off or something like that for the older version.
Oh, okay. I know you got gift cards at some places, so I mean, there's some things out there. There ain't gonna be no huge discounts, but yeah, it's something. It's better than just buying just the console at regular price.
Exactly. Every dollar counts, Dominic. All right. Well, if that is all, we'll wrap this podcast up. Thank you guys, as always, for listening. You can check us out on Twitter. Dominic's at DStallworth5. I'm at Regulus MB. The podcast is at Supapod, SUPAPOD. Supapod.com is the website. You can check us out there. It has links to all the places you can find us, including YouTube, where there's a video version of this podcast, as well as iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify, all those types of places. And until next time, guys, talk to you later.
All right, see you.